Hello and welcome to this Fog of War video. This is going to be a little bit different. This video is going to be a combination unboxing video, but also a New Year's resolution video and a little bit of a channel update. So there's a lot of stuff to get through. Let's have a bit of a look. First up, let's do some unboxing. So I've got this box here. Every now and again, I'm going to pull little things out of it between segments and we can have a bit of a look. So I've already opened it. Let's actually get the first item out. Oh, there's something right on the top here. This is something I ordered from Aetherworks a little while ago. Turned up. This is for NAM. It's the BTR-50 PK Armoured Personnel Carrier. So the BTR-50 came out in the early 1950s as an armoured personnel carrier. Carries about 20 troops. So with these, the North Vietnamese can take these as part of their infantry units as armoured infantry transport. So yeah, this is a resin metal kit. So resin hull, metal tracks, a very happy looking tank commander figure, and a couple of machine guns. Not sure why there's two. Either I'm very lucky or there are different ones. I haven't actually had a look yet, but we'll sort that out. So that is our first unboxing. So I hope everybody had a good Christmas and New Year period. It's nice and hot here in Australia for Christmas and New Year. So, you know, if it's cold where you are, hope you weren't too cold. If it's hot where you are, hope you weren't too toasty for Christmas and New Year. I'd also like to do a very quick shout out to John from All Miniatures Great and Small. I don't know if you guys have seen on his channel, but he had a medical event a few months back. Thanksgiving, I understand, for those of you in America who celebrate that. He's okay, but he's still on the mend. So just a big shout out to John. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. And we'll continue to look forward to seeing your content. So let's do another cheeky unboxing. What can I find in here? Sure, there's stuff in here. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Oh, wound markers. So NAM has an interesting mechanism where infantry take wounds and the wounds stay with the unit. You can actually pass them from unit to unit and eventually have them evacuated. The problem is if you accumulate too many wounded markers on a unit, you start to take significant losses. So that's an interesting mechanism that NAM has that isn't actually replicated in any of the other games. So yeah, I've been wanting to get some wound markers for ages, but they were in stock and now I've got some. That's great. So I'd like to thank Battlefront for the opportunity to be the content partner for NATO forces at the end of 2023. That was a great opportunity. We had some fun and games getting stuff shipped out to Australia in time to get some of the videos made for the release schedule. But, you know, we did a reasonably good job. I still have a couple of things from that I'm still going to review. I've got some VBLs around here somewhere for the French. I've already done the TAU 241, the Australian M113 upgrade kit. That was part of that release as well. So I have a few little bits left over. There's the decal sheet. I'm working on a bigger video that is doing not just what the decal sheet is, but what the markings are for the particular countries involved. So I've had an ongoing project for a while looking at the Australian ones, so that's pretty good. The Canadians are quite similar. The French do their own thing. So yeah, I'm not as not as up with French tactical markings as I could be, so that might take a little while. Anyway, so that leads me on to the New Year's resolution, because that's part of that. Working direct with Battlefront was a great opportunity, and we've got that done. But I've decided to take a bit of a step back in 2024, and I've got a huge review pile of shame. Stuff that I have bought and thought, yes, I'll review that, and then something else shiny has come along, or there's been a new release. Red Dawn stopped me reviewing a whole bunch of the Bulge British that I'd bought. So there's a bunch of things sitting in the pile that needs review that I should get onto. So my idea for 2024 is I am going to concentrate on reducing that pile of shame. Go back and do those. Now, that's not always great for views. I've done a couple of the Bulge British ones, and to be honest, British are amongst the worst to do for views on a channel. So I've done a couple of those reviews. I've done the Challenger and the Archer, and I'm working on the Sexton and Ram, but those videos always rank fairly low. They don't get a lot of views. They don't do fantastically well, but they're kits I care about. So I'm a British player. I like to do those. If I wanted to do the views all the time, I'd go back and review the Jagdtiger, which I have a great big box of that I haven't reviewed yet. That is in the works, by the way. But yeah, I've got things like the Waffentrager and the Kleine Panzerwanzer. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's in the review pile that needs to come out. Some of it's going to be more popular than others, but I'm going to try and get onto it all. Well, I say all. It's a big pile. There's a lot of stuff in there. I'm so sorry. But I will give it a very honest effort to go back and have a look at. Let's do another unboxing. What's still in here? Oh, packing beads, apparently. People's Army of Vietnam unit cards. So I have been buying stuff for NAM and thinking that I'm going to have to build and field some of the North Vietnamese to make this work so that I can have two different armies that I can put against each other, my Aussies and their opponents. And I suddenly realised, well, I've been buying stuff. I haven't bought the cards. So I ordered the cards. Here they are. So now when I do get this stuff built and organised, I can put them on the table and I know what I'm doing. So the next thing I want to briefly talk about is Battlefront's Christmas announcement. So like everybody else, I was very keenly looking forward to Battlefront's Christmas announcement. It was a lot of fun. There's some stuff in there. It was much more slickly produced. Ryan, you did a good job if that was you. The lighting was much better. The miking was much better. So the sound was very good. The production values were great. Closer in on Pete. So yeah, you could see what was going on. Much more slickly produced. Much more tightly controlled. So Pete didn't give away as many secrets as Pete usually does. Somebody had said that the Kaiser from Modelling for Advantage should have been let loose on Pete and would have got a whole lot out of him. And that would be very, very true. Yep, they should have let the Kaiser out. But anyway, we got what we got. So there's some interesting stuff in there. Now, I didn't do a review video of that. At the time, I was busy with some family stuff. And by the time I got around to thinking about that, a lot of people had already done it. So it didn't seem to make a lot of sense to actually come back and rehash that. But I might just talk very briefly about some of those things here. So let's look at what's coming in 2024. So there's Clash of Steel. This is interesting. This is their Late War Leviathans. So there's a PDF of Late War Leviathans coming out. You're going to be able to buy platoon boxes of the kits that they're bringing out for World of Tanks. So lots of the paper panzers and super heavy prototype designs and things like that, that many of which never saw service or never got beyond the prototype stage. It's divisive for some people. Purists who play for the history don't want it involved in Flames of War, which is why I think it's interesting that they've spun it off as a separate thing for Clash of Steel. That's probably a good idea. Nobody wants to be taking Shermans up against E100s or IS7s or whatever. That's just not going to be any fun for anybody. But some people were getting a bit precious about it. And you know what? I'm really looking forward to playing some stupid, super heavy tanks. Is it historical? No. Does it have a place in Flames of War? I don't think so. But is it something fun that you can do that gives us another option to do something stupid with great big stompy tanks? You bet. So it actually looks like a lot of fun. So, yeah, if you're not happy with it, don't play it. It's great. It's not going to turn up on a tournament table near you anytime soon. And I think that's a good thing. It really is a good thing that it's built like that. And for the rest of us, it's silly escapist fun. It's, Flames of War's Conflict 47. So, yeah, I intend to have some fun with that. I do hope that the kits that come out, the platoon boxes that we've been promised, are the unassembled kits, that they're not going to go in the World of Tanks model that they've done where the kits are assembled and undercoated. I reviewed the new starter set, which has the mouse and IS3 and a bunch of stuff in it. Some of the undercoating was terrible. If I was going to use those kits, I would have to strip whatever it was that they daubed onto them to be able to spray those kits and do a reasonable job. Also, I would like the option to build them and adjust them, use some of the optional parts, not use some of the optional parts based on what I wanted to do. So I am hoping that those are going to be unassembled kits that we're going to be able to buy. So apparently that's coming out sometime in April and is going to be coming out in 3 waves. There are a number of different box sets for that coming out, so you can get an army box that's US versus Soviet or British versus German or whatever it was. So yeah, look out for those. I'm referring over to, I've got a little list of talking points here, so that's why I keep darting my eyes over there. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Anyway, hard plastic infantry for Team Yankee was one of the things that was introduced. So to start with, the Soviets and the US as hard plastic infantry. At the moment, it's just 3D renders, so we can't tell what they're actually going to look like once they actually turn up. But a lot of people like the hard plastic infantry. Battlefront seem to think that they've really got that nailed down. Pete was very positive about it. So I'll be really looking forward to seeing what that looks like. To go along with that, Pete was saying there were, new starter sets coming out. So those will be interesting to look forward to as well. The other thing for 2024 is the Pacific. So apparently there's a big book of the Pacific coming out, 1942 and 1943, so mid-war in the Pacific, focusing on the US, Japanese, and the Commonwealth forces. So there'll be British and Indian and other Australian forces as part of that. I know Christian from Painting Panzers will be very happy about that. He's very big on the 14th Army, the British Army in the Far East, and the Forgotten Army, which we keep forgetting about and taunting him about. But he'll be very happy that that's going to come out. So that's coming out as a book, and then there will be 3 army deals, a US, a Japanese, and a British one. The British one looked like it had Lee and Grant tanks and some Valentines and some infantry, so we'll have to see what there is further details for that. So let's do another unboxing and then we can talk about 2025. I think this is the last thing in this box. there we go. LAV 25s. I've been needing some more of these. This is the second box of these I've got. I want to do the Anzac Trial Squadron, the Cavalry Trial Squadron for Team Yankee that came out in NATO forces. So I've needed some LAVs. I've got plenty of M1s everywhere. They're all hiding in boxes somewhere, so I can build some of those. LAVs to get me up and running for the Cavalry Trial Squadron, so that can go over there. It's taken a while for those to have come back into stock in Australia, so I've been sitting around waiting for one of those to turn up. So let's talk about 2025. Early war. People have been screaming for early war, and it looks like early war is coming in 2025. So it's going to be Blitzkrieg 1940, and that's probably a really good time for them to concentrate on. A lot of people want to do the BEF, the French, and the Germans at the start of the war in 1940. There's a lot of plastic coming, so there looked like there was an outline for a Shah B1 in plastic. There looked like an A13 for the British. So hopefully there's a Matilda as well. That would be really nice to have plastic Matildas. But yeah, early Stugs and Panzer 1s, Panzer 2s, 38Ts, those would be nice to have in plastic. So there are two box sets coming out, French versus German and British versus German, I believe. So that's what's going to happen with early war. So yeah, it's not until 2025. So like everybody waiting for GTA 6, you're going to have to wait till 2025. But it's coming. So at least that way, you know it's coming. Pete says in the video that they're going to do it properly and permanently. So I think you'll enjoy the fact that it'll be covered well. So there'll be an awful lot of the stuff covered. And I think they'll expand it. So we'll end up with A-10 cruiser tanks for the British in early war desert. But that's just my guess that's how that's going to work out. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this slightly weird and rambly video. Part unboxing, part channel update, part New Year's resolution. Again, I hope everybody had a good start to the year and that it's been okay in your neck of the woods. And I hope that you will continue to enjoy Fog of War content into 2024. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.